For me, it was the discussion around shelter and how shelter could become sustainable.
I think originally there was a group of us that got together that tried to do the Built Green guidelines. And we were judging the homes, how many Built Green homes we could, that we were actually doing per year as a guideline for how well we were succeeding.
ANRAB and I provided, it was 16 local seminars on Built Green, on sustainable shelter, and it was something that we had attendance anywhere from 12 to 25 or 30 people at each of these events. It was over 130 people who attended eventually. And we started to derive various ideas of what it meant to the community, sustainable, green, shelter, and one of the, as I mentioned, one of the big topics for people was the affordable housing, and the city was becoming involved in a study on affordable housing, and so we had comments and were able to get involved in some of that.
The Jefferson Energy Center had been meeting before Local 2020 existed, and we, through a fellow named Joe Breskin, had mentioned at one of the meetings that we could control our own energy. We had the option to distribute energy, and that tickled a number of our fancies. Everything came together in 2008. There was a move by PSE to be bought out by a foreign consortium, investment consortium. The rates had been going up. I mean, it was truly more or less the perfect storm for us to implement this.
We've got a group of a half a dozen of us that have been meeting for over 3 years now, and this group morphed ourselves into something called Citizens for Local Power, and we were responsible for having Jefferson County vote to authorize the formation of an electric utility. It'd be the first county that's done that in Washington State in 43 years.
There were 3 counties doing the same thing, and we're the only one that succeeded. The community itself was catalyzed, and we just helped focus it in a way, and through some intense effort by a few people and a lot of support by many people, it passed. And now the PUD's in the process of going through perhaps acquisition of the infrastructure.
The county led an RFP for the Economic Development Council role. The group of people that came out of L 2020 that were interested in these issues had a very different perspective on economic development. That in rural communities you grew the local economy by helping local businesses add 1, 2, 3 new employees, not by bringing in outside companies to set up small manufacturing operations, this type of thing. And so we applied, and we were successful. And both the state and the county were very excited by our different perspective on how we would do this. And instead of appointing an executive director, we just all volunteered our time, and we discuss issues of economic development and how we can make a difference in the community. The other element of L 2020 that I was interested in was local investment, direct individual investment, and I met with the Lion Group several times.
We call it Lion, Local Investing Opportunities Network, and within Lion it is just that, it's an opportunities network. We're a loose network of individuals who are interested in investing in businesses and individuals in our own community. And people who have investment opportunities, say you want to start a business or expand a business, you submit your business plan, your opportunity, and that is shared with everybody in the network. Once it's shared within the network, it's up to each individual to decide whether or not they want to invest and to work out terms with the person who submitted the opportunity. So it's not an investing club, it's not financial advisement club or anything like that. It's just to link up people who want to take their money off Wall Street and invest it on Main Street, if you will.
I came from Portland, Oregon before I moved here, and was very interested in local currencies. We had a local currency in Portland, and I was interested in starting one here. Chuck Eston, who was in the local economic action group, and so that connection enabled us to start a local currency, part of Fourth Corner Exchange, which is now our local currency is called North Olympic Exchange.
Well, it's an extended barter system. We have probably about 120, 130 people in it. We trade by using an exchange system that's on the internet. We kind of trade time and convert it into a concept called life dollars. But we have many different members involved in that. We have retired people that are quite well off but like the volunteer part of it. They like the engagement. We have low-income people that really need the services and everything in between. We would like to extend more to local businesses and make it a much bigger part of the economy. Right now you can't really live off the local currency. It could help people around the edges, and it has in many cases.
Yeah, it was giving back, which was based on a permaculture concept that if people have a surplus, they give the surplus back to the community. And we had thought that some of ours would be learnings, would be sort of educational things. Here we did this in Jefferson County. Another thing that I was involved with as part of the giving back idea was helping come up with the idea of a network of sustainability groups in Puget Sound that could share the journey. I mean, this thing about trying to move the direction of American life towards more sustainable practices. And so people would know they're not alone in trying to do this. And so that people could learn from each other. And this effort became known as SCALLOP, Sustainable Communities All Over Puget Sound. And there may be 80 communities now that are in this network, that are being tied together by the internet and meetings.